Hi there folks, and welcome back to Airgun Reporter. On today's episode, we're going to take a closer look at the legendary Beeman Kodiak pellet. In my experience, the Kodiak has been a consistent performer in many of my spring-powered and pre-charged pneumatic airguns, and I'm here today to not only demonstrate that for you, but to help explain why. Alright, let's start out by taking a closer look at the Kodiak pellet itself. The Kodiak is a domed pellet. But if you notice at the top, it also comes to a slight point, and that's kind of unique to the Kodiak. Another thing you'll notice is that the skirt is smooth, it doesn't have any ribs on it. And when you first pick these out of the tin, you'll notice that each one is polished very smooth, and that's indicative of a finely crafted German pellet. But what really strikes me about these pellets is the consistency of the weight. So let me take a couple pellets out of the tins, put them on our grain scale, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I have my grain scale here, it's been calibrated, and I'll take the 22 caliber Kodiak. Now the Kodiaks tend to be on the heavier side of the spectrum in both 22 caliber and 177 caliber. In 22 caliber, they're just slightly over 21 grains. In 177 caliber, just slightly over 10 grains. And if you don't know this already, heavier pellets carry more ballistic energy downrange for target shooting and also for hunting. Here we have 21.3 grains. I'll set that aside here. Take another pellet. .3 grains again. And another random pellet out of the tin. And there we go, 21.3 grains yet again. You know, consistency in weight is something that airgunners should always look for. When you've emptied a tin of 250 pellets and you grab a fresh one off the shelf and go out for a day of shooting, you're going to want to know that from tin to tin, you have that consistency that's going to keep you on target. I have a spring-powered airgun and a couple of pre-charged pneumatic airguns. Let's shoot a bunch of groups with the Beeman Kodiak pellet, and then we'll compare it to another leading brand. Now don't misunderstand the point of this episode, folks. The Beeman Kodiak pellet is not for every airgun. But if I have one that's a little bit pellet fussy, switching to a Beeman Kodiak pellet more often than not gives me the results I'm looking for. I went through a lot of pellets with this RWS 54 Air King before switching to the Beeman Kodiak as its pellet of choice. I'll shoot a target downrange and I'll show you exactly what I mean. My target is set out to 60 feet, that's 20 yards. And I'll be using the bipod instead of the bag rest for this test. Now this is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at that, slightly less than 1/4 of an inch. Okay, here we have the 177 caliber Hammerly Pneuma. I went through several pellets to find just the right one for this airgun, and while I did find a few of them, none of them gave me the performance like the Beeman Kodiak. As a matter of fact, on the first season of my American Airgunner television show on the Sportsman channel, I shot a fly at 40 yards using Beeman Kodiak pellets. And that just demonstrates that this pellet is good for shorter distances as well as pinpoint accuracy out to longer distances. Let me go ahead and shoot that target. Well, once again, folks, the proof is right here. Look at that group. Well folks, I have a little bit of news regarding those Beeman pellet tins. That's right, they've finally redesigned their graphics to include the grain weight of the pellets. Thanks, Beeman. Now let's try something different. I'm going to take a domed pellet and put it up against the Beeman Kodiak in a soap penetration test. Let's see what the results of that are. Okay, for the soap penetration test, I'm going to be using the incredible 22 caliber Evonics Rainstorm with a Hawk 6.5 to 20 by 42 millimeter scope mounted on it. I'll be using brand X first. This is another leading domed pellet. Let's go ahead and see what the results are. Well, it looks like we have a good capture. I'll go ahead and sight in with the Beeman Kodiak pellets, and then we'll take another shot. Well, there you have it. Although the lighter pellet was traveling at a higher velocity, it did not punch through the other side of the soap, whereas our Kodiak went clean through and right out the other side. Well, there you have it, folks, the Beeman Kodiak pellet. It's consistent in weight, it has an excellent fit and finish, and it's been ballistically engineered to deliver the type of energy downrange that you need for your targets. Now, don't get me wrong, folks, the Kodiak pellet is not for every air gun. There's no pellet that can make that claim. But if you happen to have a fussy air gun and you haven't tried the Kodiak pellets, it's definitely worth a shot. For Airgun Reporter, my name is Paul Capello. Until next time, shoot safe and have fun. Please remember, folks, air guns are not toys. Even the smallest calibers can cause serious injury if not used properly. And you should never, under any circumstance, point an air gun at a person. Parents, if you teach your children to shoot responsibly, they will have a lifetime of airgun enjoyment.